Now. Sweet. Okay, so you are Jinx, presumably?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so do you have any questions beforehand, or do you want me to focus on anything in specific this game?
I would think mostly just like laning and team fighting. I think because this was a pretty long game, so there's like probably a good amount of stuff I didn't do right in team fights and I know I died a couple times in lane versus like Vayne.
Interesting, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
What rank is this, by the way?
Plat 5.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice.
And that,
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
and I didn't build Bork on this because I didn't know that was like the thing people go to now on her. I thought you'd just build her similar to like you do Kate. Still,
You can do the crit build like Caitlyn does, but Borg is just a better one-item power spike, which is why everyone does it, right? Makes you more
yeah.
useful early on. But honestly, like against the enemy team, they're like all squishy. Going like the crit build is not a bad idea, honestly. It's like it's not that bad, right? So
Yeah.
so far so
And
good. Laning looks good. You guys push for the level 2. You have control of the lane. What can go wrong, right?
yeah.
Do, 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 do. Let's speed it up a little. So in this lane, right? Since you're Jinx versus Vayne, you just want to like push her in and create pressure, right? Pretty much the way you figure out what you're supposed to do in lane is who has like lane priority, and what I mean by that is who can like push faster without like losing an all-in, losing a trade, whatever, right? Lane priority means you have control over the lane. So since Vayne can't push, and Jinx can, like a lot, like you just spam rockets, right, on the mini wave, you have lane priority. Even though the Bard versus Zyra matchup isn't the best, it's not like Zyra can do anything because Vayne is so bad in lane, right? So it's good that you're pushing here. It's very good, right? Because it's hard for someone to farm into tower, right?
Oh yeah, your stream can't see the video.
That is hella awkward. Anyways, let's pretend that they could this whole time. So yeah, push him in all day. No problems here. All you have to watch out for is not getting rooted by Zyra, right? And then everything's all Gucci. Yeah. So that's kind of awkward, but
Yeah,
that's
right.
okay to
That
take.
happened.
Yeah, try to avoid stuff like that, right? So if you ever want to like figure out lane matchups, right? You want to focus on lane in the loading screen. Ask yourself, how do I die to the enemy bot lane, right? What specifically do I die to? So for me, like when I'm watching this, what I'm thinking is either you get condemned into a wall, into a root, or you get rooted, right, into massive damage, right? Does that sound like?
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate? You get rooted or you get condemned, right? So on the flip side, how do you and Bard win, right? Can you tell me?
Bard gets a stun, and then I just snare or get the snare off, and then you can kind of disperse from
Exactly.
that.
100. That's 100% correct, right? So everything you do in lane, you must keep that in mind. So I don't know what Bard is doing. That's not really your fault. Sure, he could have healed better, but he kind of like killed himself. Flushes again. What the hell is going on?
They tunneled over because like they tried to tunnel over to gank them, but I couldn't come up because the Zyra and the Vayne were up there. So like if I walk up, I just get bursted by Zyra. So I had to like wait for them to go in. I feel like.
Here's the thinking. Okay, so you guys saw Lee, right? The counter argument to what you just said is you were afraid of Zyra like blowing you up immediately, right? But Zyra has no ignite, right? So the kill pressure on you is minimal, especially if you don't get hit. And how do you like force a miss by Zyra, right? If you need to dodge that route 100%? Yeah, exactly, flash, right? So
Yeah.
it is worth your flash to bait Vayne and Zyra into you, for example, right? So playing up is not a mistake unless playing up gives away the gank. So in this case, it's like it's okay to like be close by to like follow up on this, but honestly, I wouldn't worry about this too much. It looks like they were kind of overzealous in trying to force this play to happen, right?
Yeah.
But keep that in mind, right? If you're ever figuring out like their win condition, right? Their win condition, like you said, is Zyra bursts you while you try and like help. Then what is your response? If you have a response, then it is okay to play up, right? But if you have no response, then play safe. So your response would be like, I'm going to heal to dodge the root, or I'm a flash to the root, right? So
Yeah.
in terms of laning, that's the stuff you should be thinking about, right? Your pushing was very good, right? No problems there. Your farming seems good, no problems there. Like you got hit by root once, but it was okay. But if you want to like focus on laning, that's the stuff you should be thinking about. How do they win? How do I win? And then how do we play around that stuff, right? Here, you're just letting them push in. That's fine. It's okay to not back here. There's no cannon wave to back on. So this is all good. All you gotta do is farm now, right? All you do is just farm and wait for a Bard to land something, right? So, also, this skin is awesome. Maybe I should get it.
The Jinx skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that skin. That's my favorite one.
I'm a big fan of the sound effect.
It's on sale right now.
Really? I'll have to consider getting it. So here, what you can do is push this next wave and back because you have this cannon wave that Vayne has to clear, right? So if you needed to back now, this would be a good time after pushing this wave, right? Do you know like the basics of like lane control and stuff, like back timers? I assume you know, like you want to push in if they back. Like it looks like you're doing it. So
yeah, I kind of get the general idea of it. Like not entire. Like I get like you want to push them when someone backs, and then you just kind of like I did what you said. I just kind of shove the wave and then back.
So here's one comment on this. If you know you want to back 30 seconds in advance, right? You see the cannon wave coming up your lane. Then don't waste any time in backing because you're gonna start losing CS the more you stay, right? So when I see you go for the zap, it's like it's nice that you want to like get damage on them, but what is that damage gonna do, right?
Yeah, they're just all gonna back anyway. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you're just gonna back that whatever. If you hit it or land it, literally doesn't matter. So save your time by backing in this bush or something, right? The alternative to backing is always like camping in a bush with your support, right? If you know the lane's gonna reset, you can always sit in a bush and go for like a cheese kind of situation. But backing is always good too, right? Here you actually have several options. So if you're winning the lane, you can just like freeze this. Unless you're going for a dive here, honestly. You want to like... Wait, let me see this. Yeah, this is pushing towards you, right? So,
yeah.
Do you know like the minion rule for like pushing?
What do you mean?
So if it's in the middle, right? The enemy side needs one more minion in order for the lane to push towards you, right?
Yeah.
If it's like closer, a little bit closer to your side, they need 2 minions. Here it's like 3 minions, right? Where this cannon is standing. If the wave meets at here, you need 4 minions. And then you start getting to 5 and 6 minions right outside your tower. So here, they have like... I don't know the exact number, but I can tell that it's automatically pushing towards you. They have like an extra minion, plus all your minions are dying super fast. You can freeze this, right?
Yeah.
And make the Vayne and the Zyra come out. So when we talk about like where you want the lane in terms of the matchup, if you have catch supports, like supports that want to run it down the lane. Examples of this are Blitz, right? You see it all the time. Blitz presses W, runs down the lane, gets a hook, right? Same thing with Thresh. Run down the lane. Morgana sometimes with a bind. Bard, right? You want to take a portal with your jungle and throw slows and stuns, right? So every time you have some kind of chase potential, you want to keep it in the middle. You want to freeze it somewhere. You want to make it so they have to come out to these minions, right? If you have a Karma for on the flip side, if you have like a Karma, a Zyra, a Lulu, if you have a lane dominant support, you wanna push them in and poke them down, right? And then run away from a gank, right? Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you see you have a Bard, when you look at the support matchup, Bard versus Zyra, Zyra wants to push in and poke, right? And then Bard wants to keep the wave in the middle so he can chase them down with his portal and his slow. The AD carry matchup matters a little bit, but not as much as the support matchup, right? So if Zyra comes out to push and then she gets caught by the Bard chasing her down, you win because she doesn't get any poke off. Zyra wins if she can get the poke off, or she can like land the rune in her ult or something stupid like that. But that's not applicable here, right? So here you definitely freeze. This is if you want to like really focus on the lane stuff, try and figure out the matchup in the loading screen, right? How do we lose an all-in? How do we lose a trade? And where do we want the waves to be in terms of like the matchup, right? Do I have a chasing support, like quote unquote, or do I have like a pushing support, or do I have like a sustained support, right? So you got like the pushing supports, like the dominant supports like Karma, Lulu, and then you have like the chase supports like Braum, Bard, Thresh, Blitz, and then there's like the last section of supports that's like Nami, Soraka, Janna, the kind of like sustained supports. Those people you just want to trade. You want to try and take good trades, and then play the wave however is safest, right? So say you have a Soraka, obviously you want to trade as much as possible, but you don't want to get all in, right? So those are like 3 kind of general supports, and some supports can do two things, right? Nami can do sustain and push, or even chase with her ult. Not really, but some people consider Nami to be able to chase with bubble, right? Stuff like that. So always try and like think about that if you have issues like laning. But so far so good, honestly, right? Looks pretty good. You're in control of the lane. There's not much they can do to stop you from pushing them in. I'm not saying that this is not a viable option, right? You can totally push this Vayne in all day if you want. The main point of all this like discussion is how can you be useful to your team, right? That's the underlying goal. It doesn't matter what option you take, push, freeze, zone, whatever, as long as you're being useful. And you can judge usefulness by the amount of pressure you have over the lane, right? So if you're pushing them in and Vayne's losing CS, that's good pressure because you're winning the lane, right? So they ask for their jungler to come, and if you escape the jungle gank, then you've won the map for your team. And what I mean by that is if this Lee Sin ganks for you, if this Lee Sin ganks you and you guys don't die, Sejuani gets something free on the other side of the map, right? Or Sejuani gets a counter gank and you guys kill them all, right? Something like that. So no matter what you do, as long as you're being useful, it's good. So this is being useful, I would say. So yeah, you're baiting out a Lee gank. So this is like really useful, right? Your Sejuani can go do whatever the hell she wants now on the map. So far so good, honestly. I'm surprised that you say you die a few times in lane here.
I think I died like once or twice in lane. I think I just like got soloed out by Jinx.
Okay. So when you see this, whenever you see someone miss something important, right? You want to stop whatever you're doing and run, right? So say for example, if you see Lux miss her bind, you stop chasing, right? If your Lux is on your team, you miss your bind. Okay, here's a better example. If you see Orianna flash with her ultimate, right, in a 5v5 situation, everyone on your team should stop and just run away, right? Because you have no ultimate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when I see a Sejuani miss, okay, so Bard landed his stuff, but Sejuani misses, you play safe. From now on, you play to get away because there's no way you guys can win. Whenever you're going for like a fight, try and think specifically what you want to do, right? So if I'm you, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to, the instant someone gets stunned, I'm like waiting for the stun. If they hit the stun, I'm a trap and ult, right? That's like the standard combo.
Yeah.
So when I see this, when I see the Sejuani miss, I'm like, all right, I just play defensive, right? Play to keep myself alive. There's no way you guys can win after missing all this shit, right? So here, when you see the Sejuani ult miss, you don't use your ult unless it's 100% free, right? You don't use your ult unless it's 100% free. You don't use your traps unless you can guarantee it, right? You play safe because there's no possible way for you guys to kill them, right? If these two champions click back to their tower, you have no response, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're ever wondering why you ever get baited by your team like this is why, right? Your team is like boosted. I don't know, like it's not really your fault that Sejuani missed her ultimate, right? But you just have to deal with it. So if you ever see something disastrous like this happen,
you just have to back off.
Yeah, you just gotta run.
Yeah.
Don't get baited by your team. It happens to everyone. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to everyone watching your chat right now. You get baited by your team because they miss an ability and you don't stop chasing, right? So always be conscious of that. Yeah. So pretty much like the mistake here was like
still going after it.
Yeah, exactly. If something unexpected happens, like anything unexpected, like bad unexpected, you just run away, right? You don't really want to take a fight where you don't know what's going on, right? Have you ever heard of this saying where like a master has already like won the fight in his head before he even makes the first move, right? That's what we should be doing in League of Legends, right? You should already know how you're gonna win before this fight, before you even touch anyone, right? So here you're gonna win if Sejuani lands the ultimate on someone and you guys immediately burst them down. But if that condition does not happen, you guys run because there's no other way to win, right? So this Bard like kills himself. That's not really your fault. Well, actually, he gets away. Holy shit! Whoa! Holy. Okay, yeah, he gets away, but you don't because you tried to help your team. But yeah, if never die for your team. Pretty much, never die because of your team's mistakes. It's like always hard, but laning was like really good up until that point. right?
Yeah.
The fact that Sejuani threw your lane was like unfortunate, but you could have like survived, right? You could like if we go
Oh
back
yeah,
to
this is another time where I die. Was like there.
if we go back to this, like if you want to make the argument of why you should stay alive here and not use any abilities, is because they're gonna chase, right? They're gonna do the boosted shit and they're gonna chase you guys when you guys start running. So then you just turn on them when you see an opportunity, right? But if you die, there's like no opportunity. So
Yeah.
but you mentioned that okay, take the dragon, that's good.
I think here, yeah. So
Okay.
like I see Bard is near me, so I'm like a bit more confident to play up against the Vayne, and then she just kind of like goes in on me, and then I can.
Okay. Here's the issue. Remember we talked about win conditions and stuff with the
Yeah.
lane matchup? So that changes at level 6, right? So you got like level 1, level 2, and then like maybe level 5, and then you have like level 6 is another big one, right? Levels 1 through 5 will generally stay the same. Maybe sometimes not because you get a third ability at level 3. Well, level 6 is when everything changes, right? You say, you see the Caitlyn versus Varus matchup. Varus doesn't really gain dominance over the lane until he's level 6, because then he just ults Caitlyn and Caitlyn dies, right? So in this example, you get to push Vayne all day until she hits level 6, because she can just ult at you and you have no response, right? How can you?
Yeah.
You can't win. You can't win. And then maybe if you had a Braum or an Alistar or something that isn't Bard, right? What is Bard's win condition, right? You said earlier he stunned someone. How does he stun a Vayne, right? When she's ulted and she's just like tumbling around everywhere. It's impossible, theoretically, right? So if you ever want to like figure out how you lose this stuff, it's based on the matchup, right? So there's no way you can win. She can dodge your ultimate, she can dodge your zap. I don't see how you guys win unless she massively misplays. Okay, she's like killing herself now, but yeah, there was just no way.
Yeah. I realized after I was like, yeah, I played up a bit too far, and then I got screwed for it.
Yeah, so always be wary of like the matchup. Who wins? Like, how do you win? How do they win? Always ask yourself that. You never want to be surprised by anything. So it's always it's not easy to do, but if you practice at it, you'll get a lot better at it. Like if you practice at it, you'll see noticeable improvement, right? So here, pushing out the lane because Vayne's backing. That's good. Okay, this is the same situation though. You have to be very scared of the Vayne all in again. Okay, your Bard's going to roam, so you just sit at the tower. Maybe you give up the tower, depending on how things go. Yeah, you give up the tower. Okay, good. Going to help. So far, so good. Can't really see anything. Nice try on the ultimate, I guess. On the Lee. Pushing mid. Going for tower. Okay, this is good. So far, so good. Right. Staying bot was not the correct... Okay, this is good, right? Follow up on the zap. Nice. Good stuff. Here, you probably go bot because there's nothing else to do mid, I feel like. Okay, nice. Look, nice. Everything's Gucci. Okay, hold up. Let's be careful here, though. Okay, never mind. Vayne showed mid. I was about to say Vayne could be like hiding in this bush or something, but you saw her mid. So. So far so good. Okay, you fire an ult towards mid. I presume probably because Camille's low, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You got an assist. Okay, that was worth. Good. So now you push this wave in and you get the tower, right?
Yeah.
Good. This is like perfect macro, right? No complaints here. Looking really good. And then reset after this. Maybe you can defend mid, maybe not. It's whatever either way. Okay, your job in team fights, right? Okay, so in team fights as the AD carry, what do you think your job should be?
Just staying alive and doing as much damage as you can while like not getting blown up by them.
Right, that's like the core principle of AD carry, right? Staying alive, following up on your team if you can, not dying, right? So what on the enemy team, what could go wrong? How can you die to the enemy team, right?
Lux Snare, Zyra Root, Camille jumping on my face, Lee Sin kick.
Yes, okay, there's one more that I'm thinking of. Exactly what you said, and there's one more.
Like a random Vayne condemn?
Yeah, exactly, right? If you ever find yourself in a situation where Vayne is flanking you, and you try and help your team, you're gonna die to Vayne, right? Because you cannot 1v1 Vayne at any stage of the game, right?
Yeah.
because Vayne's ultimate now gives her like true invisibility. So before, it is possible that you could do it by putting down a pink. You would actually win every time because you put down a pink and then you just like auto attack her with minigun. But now, impossible. So those are the 5 things you have to watch out for. And now all you have to do is count off all these things, or you stay out of range so you don't have to worry about it, right? So for you, if I were you, I would especially watch out for the Lee Sin insect and the Camille engage, right? So pretty much your job is just follow up on your team. Press W, hit someone with your traps, and then ult a low HP person, right? And then you win a fight, pretty much. Let's see what's going on here. You guys are just sitting mid. Interesting. So when you see a situation when your team is trying to play up, but you don't have everyone ready, you just kind of want to like not hope, right? So, like press back ping and tell them to stop because you don't have your Orianna, right? Even though Plat has TP, your Orianna is like super far away. So unless this is like really juicy, I would not help these guys, right? It's good that you're playing safe, but it's like super dangerous to be out here. Going for this wave is going to be super dangerous, I feel like. Okay, never mind. You guys are going to kill Camille. I hope. I guess not. Never mind.
I think she just gets away because she's Camille.
That's fine. Honestly, it's whatever. The important part in solo queue is that you don't die, right? That's the important part in solo queue. Okay, good. Clearing bot wave. Push out another wave. Okay, good. What's going on now? Okay, yeah. See, exactly. This is one of the ways you die. Vayne just goes on you, right? In no way, shape, or form do you win this. Unless, oh Jesus, this Vayne is dying. Okay, no, yeah, there's no way you win that unless you somehow trap her, right? Because if you trap her, you can see her after she tumbles, right? So, keep that in mind for sure. Those 5 things that you gotta watch out for, like this Lee Sin on the side, he kicks you into the enemy team. Oh boy, this is awkward. He's gonna go for it. He can totally kick you right now. What's going on? Okay. Let's watch this. So whenever you're at an objective, I want you to think, what is like the worst case scenario, especially when you don't see someone on the map, right? Whenever you see a tower, a dragon, a baron, I want you to be like triggered, right? And what I mean by triggered is, yo, I don't fight for this objective unless I know it's safe, right? So it doesn't matter what objective it is. It doesn't matter if you're defending your tower or like sieging an enemy tower. In solo queue, these towers aren't taken because teams like siege up properly, right? How many times do you see a tower being taken because the 5 people on one team like set up a siege correctly and then they take it, right? That doesn't happen. Towers are taken when someone gets caught and then the other team pushes, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate? Like same thing with Baron. Sorry, what were you saying?
For this, I remember what happened. Because I didn't mean to go through the river. Like I clicked through the lane to walk back through the lane, but like the pathing, or I guess I misclicked or something, and the pathing made me go up to Lee Sin instead of walking down the lane.
See, even then though, he can insect you right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So you always have to think the worst case scenario, like literally worst case. Like you have to like give them respect for like you have to respect your opponents to an extent that if it's possible that they can do it, they're gonna do it, right? If it is possible that this Lee Sin can ward hop Q flash kick you into his enemy team, you have to like expect that it's coming, because if you don't and you get caught by it, then that's like getting punished, right? So especially like even when you're sieging this tower, it's 4v5, right? So you guys just have to run, right? How can you win this? Maybe like Kled TP's in, I don't know. It just doesn't seem plausible for you guys to siege this. It's just not safe for you. You just gotta run, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of awkward that this happened, but at the same time, it's more about if your team is doing something, make sure that you don't die first and foremost, right? That's like the main thing. No matter what is going on, you need to stay alive, right? Otherwise, you're trusting your team to take care of stuff for you, and you never want to do that. So like your team is taking a 4v5 right now. I don't know what's going on. Win or lose, this is pretty monkey, right? You can't do anything about it. So wow, they actually win the 4v5. Oh yeah, going top is good because you can get his tower. Hold up, you ult something here?
Because the Lux was really low, or I thought the Lee Sin was low, and like he was gonna back, so I was gonna try and hit him while he was backing.
Okay. I would say a good try
Yeah.
if you think it was gonna hit, but
I honestly thought like they were both really low, and like it made sense in my head. Like, oh hey, they're gonna back here, so I'm gonna try. Because like I didn't feel like if I shot out across map, I'd get him in time, so I was just gonna try and go for it like
yeah,
when he base.
honestly, I would take prompt issue with that, but not in this case because your ultimate's already back up by the time you want to do something again. So that's fine, honestly. Okay, what's going on here? Let's watch this. You just hit the closest guy. Okay, he ults someone else, so you're good to go. Oh, you have to watch out for the insect. That's not happening. Hit the closest guy. So far, so good. Okay, firing an ult. Let's watch this. Okay, that was good. Good value. So it looks like your team is just like doing all the heavy lifting, honestly, right? You don't really have to do much this game, except not kill yourself during game. So you're like always at the right place at the right time, which is really good, right? That's always good to see. Okay, so when you hit this, always ask yourself what can go wrong. Looks like it's impossible for you to die because they're backing or something. So this is a good siege. Okay, let's watch this. Getting hit by the root is kind of awkward. That was a good ult though. Nice ultimates. Killing this guy because he has no root. The other win condition is this Vayne and Camille. Okay, this is very awkward. But you can win this if you kill the Vayne first. Okay, if you wanna take a look at this. So this is kind of like awkward because your whole team has killed themselves already. And there's not much you can do here besides there's like not much you can do here without like I would say this is an acceptable death is what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
Your team just like flat out suicides and they can just chase you all the way back to base. So the only way you're gonna get out of this is if you play this like near perfect, right? So the way you do that, the way you win this is you have to land everything. What I mean by land everything is you gotta trap really well, you gotta land your zap, and you gotta minigun the right opponent, right? So the trap here is kind of awkward. It did get Camille, but I don't know what's going on. But sure, you finish him off. You just gotta kill the Vayne next, right? Because she's the one that's gonna kill you. If you kill the Vayne next, I think you can win. You definitely would have won here, but I would not worry about this fight as much as the other fights for sure, right? This is an okay death, but if you want to nitpick here, sure this is fine. Sure this is fine. Here after killing the Zyra, the next highest like priority target is the Vayne, and you like 3 or 4 shot her. So you kill Vayne and then you kill Camille, right? Wait, I think you auto attack minions. Or am I crazy?
I think it's the Runon's proc that are hitting minions, and that's what you're like looking at.
Oh yeah, she just has a shield. Yeah, you just kill Vayne here, but this is not something I would worry about if I were you. For sure. It's just your team kill themselves, and there's just nothing you could do because they'll chase you. So that's honestly fine. Okay, you guys are trying to do Baron, and they have a Lee Sin. Okay, this is kind of awkward. So here, your goal is to run away and stop them from doing Baron, right? So
Yeah.
everything you do should be along those lines. So buying time with Zap is good, but being out here is like dangerous because then it's like harder for you to run away, right? So if you die, it's because you're like positioning up here. The goal isn't to win this fight. The goal is to stop them from doing Baron, right? This is super awkward. Like Sejuani kills herself. You just gotta run here, right? Make sure that you don't die. Wow. Okay. So I think you needed to save that ult there. Your ult needs to like kill someone or get an assist every time you use it, right? This is on the topic of like value. When you use an ability, you need to like figure out was it good usage of your ability? Like how much value did you get out of it, right? So if your traps hits the backline, like the Vayne and the Zyra, and your team can insta kill them, that would be like really good value, right? compared to using your traps on the front line and then it just like stalls them for like a second or two, right? Which is better value. Obviously, the traps on the back line. So when we take a look at your ultimate here, in terms of value, the more you are losing, the higher value you need. If your team is 10k gold behind, Amumu needs to like land a 5-man ult for you guys to come back. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
If you do you watch any professional play?
Yeah.
Have you seen SKT versus KT at all?
The Oriole.
Exactly.
Is that what you're going to?
Yeah. 4v5. Enemy team has Baron. How do you win that fight? 4v5. You need insane value, right? The more you're losing, the more value you need. So the value that Faker got was literally as the maximum value possible, which is a 5-man Oriole, right? So the only way they were gonna win that fight is that they 5-man ulted, right? So here, the only way you're gonna stop this Baron is if you have high value on all your abilities, right? So you need to save that ultimate, unless that ultimate's gonna kill Lee Sin right here. You have to like know like with certainty. The fact that you don't contest this is fine. I don't think you could have won that, but the way you played the fight was fine. I think it's just your team pretty much suicided, but yeah, I don't. Your team honestly like killed themselves, but you should be positioning like down here where it's like impossible for you to die.
Yeah.
So far the last two team fights weren't your fault at all. I think you played it perfectly fine. Here you just stall out until their Baron is gone. Okay, what's going on? Okay, so here you can get a good trap off, hopefully. Wow, that was really good. Wow, interesting. Okay, let's back it up. So, not what I would have done, but it worked nonetheless. So that was a good auto attack on Vayne, good auto attacks on the Lee Sin, right? That was a good ultimate. I'm not sure if you meant to combo it with Ori, but that was pretty sick.
Yeah, no, it just kind of happened. Sometimes it just works out like that.
So on Jinx, the biggest thing you need to focus on is having good traps, because that's like very obvious value, right? If you hit someone with it, it's really good. So I think the trap placement is kind of questionable, because you're just putting it you're like, you put it in such a way that they're just like on the wall. You need to like make enough like big enough space to zone like the Vayne, right? Because Vayne's the one who's gonna kill you, right? You either save it or you use it in a good spot, right? Because like here it's not gonna catch anyone. Like I don't know how Camille like got stuck in it, but
she just walked into it.
Like Vayne, same thing with Vayne, right? So
they all just walked into him.
It ended up being a good trap, but what if this Vayne just went on you right now?
Yeah.
All right. So honestly, this team fight was pretty good. You played it theoretically right? So playing safe, following up if you can. That was really good. Overall, honestly, the main mistakes I've seen so far are just the like the kind of random deaths early game, and the getting caught at the bot lane tower, right? What's going on here? Okay. This is what I mean by value on your ultimate. This is super important on Jinx, landing your ultimate, because that's how you start getting your passive going, right?
Yeah.
So, think of your ultimate like Ashe ultimate, except it has no CC and it has high damage, right? Ashe ultimate, if you use Ashe ultimate and you get no value out of it, then you're useless as a champion, right? Because the majority of Ashe's like usefulness to a team is landing CC on an important target, and then that person dies, right? So as Jinx, your value comes from being able to go crazy in a team fight, but you only get to do that if you can get your passive going, right? So you need to like whenever you use your ultimate, it's got to get you an assist or kill, right? That should be what you're thinking.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously it's like really close that you hit him, but even if you did hit him, he wasn't gonna die, right? When in doubt, save it. Like when in doubt, save it. It seems like whenever you use your ult, you have mixed results. Like sometimes it's like god tier, like back at their inhibitor, you hit the Lee Sin, you just like fucking blew him up when he was trying to run away. But other times, it was like a whiff and it was like no value. So if anything, you want to be more consistent. Like here, you could ult here, and then this is guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Or I could have used it like there.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, I got.
it sounds like common sense, but it's really hard to do while you're playing, right? Like saving stuff and like making sure that everything is like picture perfect. Like this guy, that would be insane value. You kill this Vayne right now, you win the game, right? That would be like insane value. But your team can just like suicide right here. The reason why we need high value in League of Legends is because if you get high value, you're doing the heavy lifting for your team. Your team does not have to get high value, right? So say, for example, Ori lands a 5-man ultimate on the enemy team. Sejuani no longer needs to do that, right? All she has to do is just like pick someone off or something like that. So if you can get insane value off your abilities, your team does not have to, which is why we emphasize that so much in solo queue. Because in solo queue, you cannot trust your team to do anything right. The cleanest example of this, Sejuani went bot lane, suicided through like Mr. Q and her ultimate, right? There's like you cannot control that. Literally, you cannot control that. So the only thing you can control is your own value. So that's why back there earlier when Sejuani missed all their shit, I was like, you gotta run and save your abilities until a turn like shows up, until an opportunity shows up, because you need high value after Sejuani misses everything. So going for the inhib here can be risky. I think you can do it though. Okay, this is almost suicidal. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Anyways, you take the inhib and you run, right? You can't get anything more, so everyone starts running. Yeah, you just gotta run. Okay, that TP is really bad. Everyone's just gotta run right now. Okay, nice. This is really good, right? Perfect example of AD carry. Stay safe. If someone on the other team kills themselves, you kill them, right? So that was really good. How are you guys getting pushed in right now? Did someone die? Oh yeah, Sejuani died.
Was it Sej got sniped by Lux ult as we were leaving?
Holy shit, Bart almost died too. That's kind of funny.
And then Ori almost dies to one while they're sieging.
It's pretty jank, but not your fault at all, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, my philosophy is, as long as I'm not making any mistakes, I don't really give a shit what my team does, because all that matters is that I am improving, right? So that's at least the mentality I try to have. Sometimes I forget and I like rage at my team, but you know how it is. Okay, yeah. That was really good. Good zap, good value, right? So example of good value, zapping a back line after they get CC'd, right? That was really good follow-up. Here, all you have to do is now get good value off traps to kill Lee Sin, or get good value off your ultimate and then minigun these guys to death, right? So is exactly what you're doing. You're just minigunning these guys to death. Really good. Now, all you have to do is watch out for the Vayne, right? What is left from the enemy win conditions? Vayne just killing you, Lux snare and Zyra snare, right? And since you have no QSS or cleanse, you have flash for one of those 3 things, right? So you have to dodge 2 of those things. You have to somehow neutralize 2 win conditions and then flash for the 3rd. So after you kill this guy, that's what's going on here. That's like what I'm thinking if I were you right now.
Yeah.
So if you can't do that, you run away. So this is perfectly fine. If you cannot find a way to do that, you run, right? So this is fine. 100% fine. The reason why you see people pick up QSS and stuff is to give them more options, right? So say the enemy team has a Malzahar support. You pick up a QSS. Why? Obviously, it's really good to QSS a Malzahar ult. But if we dig down deeper, one of the ways you die, one of your lose conditions, if he flash ults you. So your QSS completely negates that. So if I look at their team, your QSS will negate Camille stun win condition, Lee Sin, Insect, bind, and then you still have to like somehow figure out how to kill Vayne, but it'll remove a win condition, right? So that's why people buy it. It's just like a non sequitur, but these fights are like your team is just killing themselves, to be honest. So far so good, right? In these fights. Minigun this guy to death. Okay, this is kind of awkward. How did this go wrong? Wait, when'd you use your traps on? Okay. So, the reason why you didn't kill that guy is because you do your traps here, right? Does that sound accurate?
Yeah.
Or not like the sole reason, but you missed an opportunity to kill Camille by using your traps with 0 value, right? So this is why value is super important. It doesn't matter what champion you play. Every AD carry, every champion in the game, you need good value on abilities. It's a lot more obvious on some champions like Varus ultimate, right? If you Varus ultimate a backline, very obvious is good value, right? Same with Ashe ult, but maybe like Jinx zap, Jinx traps is less clear as to what good value is. So good value is pretty much landing it on the right target. And if you don't land it, that's like negative value, right? So this guy actually walks into your traps. I don't know, but pretty much you need to save it for yourself. Save it for Peel, right? You can't win this fight anymore. I think you guys just run. You can try to minigun this guy. It's possible, but you don't have your ultimate. Okay, this is winnable.
Yeah, I killed the Camille with my ultimate already. That's how we were able to win that.
Oh,
when she ran away, I ulted her through the jungle, and then I got the reset.
Okay, that was hot. Okay, that was really good. Okay, playing safe. This is good. Going for the rockets. This is good. This is good. Oh, this is really good. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, that was really well played. That was really well played. I don't see why you're, why you say you have issues with team fighting. That was really good. That was clean. Clean. I like it.
I think it's more with like I was saying before, why I win with champs like this and Twitch, because it's like I'm good at like the backline kind of hyper carry team fighting, but with like Ezreal and Lucian and shit like that. I feel like I just like go too ham and then like kill myself too much. So I should probably just like stick to playing those champs.
Yeah, looks like you're really good at Jinx, especially for like platinum. Like, damn, that was hot. If we were to take away points from the game where there were like bigger issues, I would say it was just like it's kind of weird because there were like different types of mistakes. It wasn't really the same mistake over and over. It was more like trying to help your teammate after they screwed up, right? If you ever see that, you run. Don't help your team if they are killing themselves, right? And this only happened like once or twice. In the other fights, you ran away, which is correct, right? You didn't kill yourself, which is correct. So in terms of landing, I would say if you want to really focus on that, it goes back to like my main points earlier, where before the game starts, you look at champion select, you say, how do they win? How do I win? Does that change at level 6? Does that change at level 3? Does that change at level 2, right? How do I win? How do they win? And play accordingly, right? I think your team fighting was superb, right? You stayed safe. Maybe the value on your ability sometimes was off, but I think it was good enough to like win these fights, right? You were really good. What's it called? Positive contribution on your team. At least after the first few fights. But if you wanna work on like consistency, don't help if you guys miss something, right? If you see really bad value on your team, you just run away, right? You stop. Like earlier, you saw that at the Baron pit when Sejuani queued in and killed herself. You just ran away. That was good. Here should be the same concept, right? Same thing with sieging a tower. Is it safe to siege a tower? If it's not safe, you don't siege it. Is it safe to defend the tower? Is it safe to contest dragon or baron, right? Like at points you try to siege bot tower and then you got caught, but at the same time you realized it was not smart to contest baron, so you didn't. So I think you like know what to do. It's just about doing it consistently, right? Like sometimes you sniped people with your Jinx rockets, but other times you're like whiffed it here, right? So it's very much about consistency for you. You're like jack of all trades, master of none, right? So it's good to see that you know what to do. Now it's just like doing it every time. I would say the best way to improve upon consistency is first doing the value thing, right? Make sure every ability has value. That's like the best way to get consistent in terms of overall consistency. And the second thing is not dying, right? Not dying no matter what happens. I think that'll come after this first part though. I would say focus on this getting really good value off everything. It'll prevent, because first of all, it'll help you like prevent from wasting any abilities as like a mini throw, but also it'll help you like make up for your team's mistakes, like whatever this shit is. I don't know what this is. Like it'll help you recover from like your team being stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like your team fighting, like for the later part of the game, no complaints, right? It was really good. Honestly, it was like really good. Like I'm not even joking. But it's the consistency issue. I would say for you, definitely work on focusing on using your abilities like wisely. Like ask yourself, what am I trying to do with this ability? And is it gonna do it 100 times out of 100, right? If you run the scenario 100 times, you gotta do it. It's gotta work at least 90 times. That's what I want you to think. Every time you use a zap or traps, or if it's a different champion, right? Twitch ult, Jinx ult, something has to have good value. And then second thing is not every time you're like sieging a tower or trying to contest an objective, ask yourself, is it safe, right? Safety is number one. But for the most part, it's like really good. At least it's replayed. Do you have an OPGG?
Yeah.
Is this NA?
Yeah. No, as I was saying, like my Jinx and my Twitch, I think I have like 30 games on Jinx and I have like a 60% win rate, and then Twitch is like 20-ish games and then like 61.
Yeah. I was gonna say like, are you sure this is Platinum 5? Because that was really damn good. Interesting. Yeah, I would suggest keep playing Jinx. For sure, at least. Like play the stuff you win with, right? That's like the old adage, like play the stuff you win with, right? So, you say you're like really good with the hyper carry stuff and less so with Lucian and Ezreal, right? So play the hyper carry stuff. I'm like the same way. I'm a lot better with Twitch Cog Jinx than I am with like Lucian, for example. So if you find yourself winning with this late game stuff, go for it, right? Do you have any questions? You want to cover anything we talked about?
Yeah, so is the like freezing and like slow pushing waves and stuff like that, is that almost entirely reliant on just like the support you have, or like is there anything else that really goes into it? Because I think that's one of the things I'm bad at with laning. It's usually I just always kind of just push, like,
all right,
for the most part.
All right, let's talk about this for a sec then. So you're asking if is it like, how do I determine what I should be doing with the wave, right? How do you determine what you want to do with the wave? Do you want to push? Do you want to freeze? Do you want to slow push? Whatever. So there are a lot of factors that go into this. And it's not going to be easy at first. But the way you figure it out, I think we touched upon this earlier. But the first thing is the matchup, right? Do you have a winning matchup or do you have a losing matchup? So you can tell if you have a winning matchup if you can outpush them, right? If you have control level 1. If you can trade better, if your support is stronger and your AD carry is stronger, right? So say you're Caitlyn, Karma versus Vayne, Blitz, right? Or maybe not Blitz. That's kind of a weird example. Vayne, what's a weak support? Soraka.
Alistar?
Okay. Yeah, no. Vayne, Soraka, right? You're Caitlyn, Karma versus Vayne, Soraka. What do you want to do?
Push.
Exactly, because they have no response. They literally have no response, right? So the way you figure out if you want to push is, okay, if I push them in, how do they kill me? The jungler comes and they can't follow up because they're fucking Vayne Soraka, right? So how do you lose against Vayne Soraka?
I don't even know. Just like Vayne all-ins you at 6, I guess?
Well,
or they trade better than you?
Exactly. They trade better than you because you have no sustain, right? It's not... You think about it like at level 6, you think that Vayne should, just like tumble in and like use ultimate, whatever. But Jinx Karma is always going to win if you take Ignite because Soraka does better with extended trades, right? Because she has healing, but less so in all-ins unless she gets like a million heals off. And if you push her in, she can't chase you down the lane, right? So it depends on the AD carry, depends on the support. Sometimes it depends on the jungle, right? If they have an Elise, you don't want to get pushed in because you might get dove. But let's worry less about the jungle than the bot lane matchup, at least in solo queue, right? In solo queue, you figure out what you want to do with the wave by the matchup. If you have a winning lane, if you have a pushing matchup, you want to push them in, right? But if you push them in, you want to get ganked, but you don't want to die to the gank, right? So you push in if you have flash. If it's not safe to push in, you don't push in, right? The way you like justify anything you do is number one, are you being safe? There's no point in having a winning matchup if you just die because of a gank, right? Be safe is number one. And number two is create pressure for your team, right? And that pressure can be keeping the wave in the middle because you have a support that can chase them down the lane. Or if you have a jungle that's really strong at ganking, right? Elise level 3, so you keep it in the middle of the wave. They're afraid to go out and ward because Elise could be there. Versus something like a Yi. Level 3 Yi's not gonna do shit, right? So maybe don't keep it in the middle of the wave, right? Keep it pushed in so your Yi can farm. But in all honesty, it comes down to the matchup, right? If you can push in, and make them lose CS and bait jungle ganks, that's like the cookie cutter build for solo queue, right? That, like, even though I said you could have froze there, pushing there was also like fine too, right? But no matter what you do, you have to be able to justify it. Like, are you being useful to your team, and are you safe doing it? So it's always about the matchup, right? If you want to give me another example, and I can tell you like off the top of my head what we want to do.
Fuck. Let me go to op.gg.
Yeah,
that way
yeah,
I can like find something.
Yeah, any of these are good, right?
I think I had one. Fuck. It was like. Shit, mine's not loading.
We can look off my screen.
Okay. I know there's one. I think I played Lucian Bard versus like Xayah and Rakan.
Yeah,
and I still don't know how to lane against those two. Like.
So Lucian Bard versus Xayah Rakan, right? So it's kind of like awkward to talk about because these two champions just got released. So but we can talk about it anyways. So how does Lucian win, for example?
Using his passive and just like shoving. Right?
Yeah, right. Getting good value out of his abilities, right? Getting the double shut off every time. Animation canceling every time, right? And then how does Bard win?
The stun.
Right, exactly, right? We already discussed this. Bard wins by stunning, maybe getting his ultimate off, but that changes to level 6. Okay, so how does Xayah win?
Sustain fights and getting a good E off.
Yeah, it's more about the root, right? The CC is the big one. The big damage, getting the root off is what is going to win. It's like similar to getting a Bard stun off, right? And then how does Rakan win?
Just his knockup?
Yeah, it's literally it. It's just his knockup, right? So, if you know that they win with Xayah root and Rakan knockup, and you guys win with Lucian damage and Bard stun, right? So if you put those factors in, what in what cases do you use your dash, right? In what cases do you use your dash?
To dodge the CC.
Exactly. So you cancel out one of their two win conditions, right? So you either dodge the root, which is kind of hard to do, or you dodge the Rakan knockup, which is easier to do, right? So your flash is used for the other one, right? So you've already Lucian. This is why Lucian's considered good against Xayah. Is because he already cancels out one of her win conditions with his basic ability. So if you can do those two things in a fight, then you've already won, right? You just wait. You just have to expect that it's coming, right? When you fight, you wait for the Rakan to try and knock you up, and then you dash out of it, and then if Xayah tries to do her like root or whatever, and you know it's coming, you flash out of it, and then you win, right? Or you can wait for a Bard stun, right? So say Bard stuns someone against the wall or against a minion, you guys start fighting, Rakan tries to knock you up, you dash, and then Xayah tries to root, you flash it, boom, you won, right?
Yeah.
So if you can figure that out, now how do you guys play the lane? Well, if you can push, you push, right? So it's very dependent on level 1, level 2. If you can push the lane while being safe, you do it. But if you can't, then you just farm, right? For the most part, you don't really have to worry about like freezing or pushing. Honestly, it's about being safe because at the lower ranks, it's like what team will kill themselves first, right? Honestly, like that Sejuani through your lane. It's not even your fault. So it's more about like, can you stay alive? But in this case, if you can push, you push because you can pressure their Udyr to come gank, right? Otherwise, you keep it in the middle because you have a Bard, right? You have a chasing support. They also have a chasing support, so it's kind of hard to justify keeping the wave in the middle. But if you guys can win the 2v2 matchup, then you do it, right? So that's how you figure it out. If you can push, you push. If you can't, play safe, farm, wait for a Bard Q. That's how I'd play it.
All right.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, for the Jinx build, when you build Bork first, you just go like Bork Runan's IE, like you would on like Twitch.
I think right now I'm doing Bork, Runon's Phantom Dancer, but honestly, the build matters less than the playstyle, right? The build only starts to matter when you need like a QSS or you need a Last Whisper or a Maul, right? If you're not building those things when you need it, then there's a problem. But honestly, you can build for the most part in however you want, right? So personally, I'm just doing Bork first because it's really hard for it to be useful as Jinx unless you get super high value off your abilities. Except when you buy Bork, then you're useful, right? Because then you just Bork someone, you auto attack them, you have sustain. If you go the crit build, it's just like you just can't do much until later in the game. So that's why everyone's going Bork.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I noticed you're playing Xayah a good amount. Like what lane? All I've noticed for lanes that are like good against her are like Caitlyn and Lucian. Is there anything else?
Let's see. If we go through the marksman list, available marksman. Let's see. So Xayah is good against. Xayah is bad against Lucian, Caitlyn, right? That's what we said. I would also say she's bad against Urgot if played. Maybe Callista, because she has nothing to ult, right? Maybe she can ult Callista ult, but it's kind of weird. Anything that isn't reliant on one big thing to land, right? Maybe you can say maybe Vayne, because at level 6, Vayne goes in. I don't know. It's hard to say because Xayah's only been released like just now. Maybe Tristana, because Xayah wants to wait until she has a bunch of feathers in order to fight, and then Tristana can just jump on her before she gets that going. So that's also possible. I would say that she is not good versus Twitch. Well, actually, that might be wrong. She could be good versus Twitch. It's very hard to say because she's just been released, but maybe Jhin for sure too. Yeah, maybe Jhin. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But anyone who can get away from her root, anyone who can cancel that is good, right? So, for the most part. She just has very high outplay ability, right? She can ult everyone. Her ult E damage is like insane. So, yeah, right. I'm still experimenting, so I can't really say.
Alright, it's no big deal. I think that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I would definitely recommend, like, I'm not really, like, honestly, from what I saw that game that you just showed me, that was well beyond Platinum 5 level. So I'm kind of curious as to how you play with other champions. But it's very much about consistency, right? Building consistency, actively thinking about it during the game. I would recommend working on, like, one small thing at a time. Like, what I do is I have, like, a sticky note, and I'll have, like, a daily goal. So, like, for the whole day, I'll work on this one thing the whole day. Until it gets better, and then maybe tomorrow I can do something else, but I'll work on this as long as it takes to get it better, right? So the focus has been don't get hit in lane. So for example, if I'm playing Caitlyn versus Lucian, I'll be very conscious of Lucian's win condition, right? His E auto attack Q, right? So I'll play super safe, and I'll always expect him to dash into me. So whenever he dashes into me, my response is EQ, right? So that's what I'm thinking about right now. But your focus could be like figuring out lane matchup before the game starts, right? And playing accordingly. Or maybe playing safe during objectives in such a way that I play towards the worst case scenario, right? Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord whenever. I'm always down to answer questions. Same thing on stream. If you're ever watching, don't be afraid to ask. I'm always around. So yeah. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
All right.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell you much because it looks like you already know how to do everything. Now it's about getting the consistency up. Like you already know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's clear that you can do it because you showed me multiple times. But now it's about being able to do it every time, right? So let me know how that goes. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, dude. No problem. Until next time.
All right, see ya.